we're gonna be talking about another padlock key today. So stick around, I got some info for you. As you might be aware, there is a lot of different keys out there, and well, if you duplicate keys, you know it can sometimes be a little tricky or a little confusing. And I want to talk about one of the scenarios where it should be one way, but it can be another. And I'm mainly talking about these laminated imported padlocks, okay? They come in a variety of brands. You can get them at a variety of places, and you might get one of their keys that will throw you for a loop. So let's dive into it. I'm gonna bring the camera, we're gonna put it up over top here, and let's kind of talk through it. All right, so here's one of those, I don't know, imported padlocks that comes from overseas. And I think a lot of times is what they do is they just take they just, you know, print a different name on here, put a different color on, what have you. And, but is what we want to really focus on is the actual keys, right? Now, at first glance, if you just look at this key, what do you think it is, right? Like, I mean, yeah, you kind of want to say M1, but actually if we were to grab a M1 and look, you're going to see that it's exactly opposite of the M1, right? You can see there's a groove on this side, and the other has a groove on that side, all right? Why is this important, okay? And I really want to get to a main point on this, which is this. So many of these imported padlocks, in particular these laminated ones, they use the opposite of a M1, which a lot of people will call the M1R, okay, the reverse. Sometimes the M15, it just kind of depends. But so it is, if I were to take that M1 key out of the way, and I want to show you here is the M1 reverse key right here. This is JMA version. And as you can see, it's going to go in and it's going to work good. But my point is, you're gonna run into some of these type of keys that the M1 reverse is not going to fit into the lock. Lucky enough, this one does. Now, when I put it in, it's very firm. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to see that, but it's actually pretty firm. It would work and the customer wouldn't complain, but it's pretty tight. Now, that leads me to talk about something else here, which is this key. Now, this key is known for whatever reason as a M1 China, okay? It says China on it, and if you know, it's called M1 China. I don't know why, but it's actually the M1 reverse key, as you can see here, all right? And even if you can zoom in, if you look at even the pattern of the M1R compared to this, the M1 China key, you can see that they're actually fairly different. Now, the interesting thing about this M1 China key is it goes in super easy. It's definitely kind of made for it compared to this, just this stock M1 reverse is really not. And so if you're finding yourself needing to duplicate keys for people who bring in or give you these M1R keys, having this M1 China key, this is a brass one, they're brass or nickel plate, it's really gonna help you out here because your customer's not gonna complain, they're not gonna come back, and it's a safe bet. All right, I can't talk about keys like this without duplicating, so let me grab a duplicator and let's duplicate these keys really quick. Let's see if it works. Here we go. That's what we like. All right, let's do the M1, or the China M1 key. Let's see. There we go as well. All right, so there you have it. I really hope that this video was helpful. The main point here, if you've made it this far, AKA the TLDR, is this. You might get some keys that look like M1s. They're not. They are M1 reverse. The problem is that the M1 reverse may not always go in because, well, the lock and the keys weren't made to specs. And so is what you need or might need is the M1 China key, which hurts me to say that because it's a M1R China key. So, of course, I'll put a link to that product. You can check it out. I just want to make sure you're aware. And of course, I want to know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Well, I guess this is the end of the video, and it's time for you and I to part ways until next time. But hey, before you go, I really do want to make sure that you know that when you comment on our videos and you include the hashtag Lockboss, you automatically get hooked up to win cool stuff that we give away live here on YouTube every Tuesday. So we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have you comment, and I look forward to reading them soon.